Welcome to the Wisconsin Wrestler Podcast with your co-hosts Teague Fenwick and Steve Leurquin.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Wisconsin Wrestler Podcast. I'm your host, Teague Fenwick, coming to you live from Holman. Joining me, as always, from Koshkonong, in a shed, is my co-host, Steve Leurquin. Steve, great to be here.
Always pumped to be here. Not in the shed, actually in my bedroom. That's my barn doors that I put up about a month ago for my closet.
The barn door look is nice, Steve.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm just happy I did it, was able to put them up because I'm not very handy, Teague. But hey, enough about that, Teague. Probably, arguably, one of the most exciting sectional previews we just might have. It is loaded. I can't wait to get to it tonight.
I am jacked for it. I do want to get this out of the way real quick. I know we always got to do a second of Packers talk, and I'll just say that tie was disgusting. I'm mad I stayed up for it.
I am too. My son and I were watching it, and we got done, and they kicked the field goal, and the time was out, and I looked at him, I said, yeah, that felt like a tie. It really did.
Yep, it's truly about as much of a tie. Yeah, don't know the word off the top of my head, but yeah. It was tough to watch for sure. But Steve, jam-packed episode. Like you said, we got a lot of special guests on here tonight, and got someone in the middle of the screen. He is a familiar face, now a celebrity as he's a recurring guest on the Wisconsin Wrestler. Well known as the coach of the team that we have picked against incorrectly multiple times now, mind you, even though he had an opportunity to tell us that we could have been wrong last year, and he didn't. And that is Mr. Emeric Williams, the head coach of Belmont Platteville. Emeric, glad to have you on again, sir.
Thanks for having me on again. It's fun to keep some secrets, like not telling you guys how good we'll be.
I was gonna say. So we were on the show last year, and one of our main points last year and this year, I think we're a little more on top of it. But we were not familiar with the incoming freshmen, and when we were picking against you, what was going through your head?
It was expected. I mean, it's after the year before that, it was expected. But yeah, obviously we knew what we had.
Yeah, it was. I guess in regards to your team, I mean, what was the team goal coming into the year?
Well, to make it to team sectionals was obviously first, and then the ultimate goal was team state. We didn't quite get there, but just keep taking steps as a program, steps in the right direction, which is what we did.
Well, you guys now obviously a very tough Evansville team by 4 to go to team sectionals, which we didn't see. But then I think Teague and I were commenting, we were looking through scores, and we saw that you guys beat GET, Melrose Mindoro first round, and none of us saw that coming. How'd that duel go?
It was. I don't want to sound, but we weren't too worried about GET. If I'm going to be honest, we knew what we had and where we had to be, and it was just, it was a duel, just another duel to us that we knew we could win. To be honest, beating Evansville in a duel too earlier in the year really helped our confidence when it came to duels. And it was a really good practice for us.
Oh, don't worry, that will not be the last time we talk about that duel. Just you wait. Yeah, and how are the boys feeling coming into this year now? I mean, it's one of those things. You had your fair share of success the last couple of years. How do you keep the boys hungry going into this year?
I mean, it's pretty easy when you don't achieve your ultimate goal, right? To stay hungry. We didn't get to that team state, and now they know they got a little bit of taste of it, and they want more. And having only 2 state qualifiers out of that lineup we have, I know as a lot of kids real hungry as well that didn't make it to the state tournament, so it's going to help as well.
And also, I know it's a guys episode, but gotta ask, how awesome did it feel for you as a coach to have Callie Davis experience a state championship? Great human being, great wrestler, and it was awesome. I was so happy for her when she won it. It
was awesome. It was a real stressful match to coach, and I'm sure it was for her wrestling as well. But getting second the year before, and moving up and deciding not to cut any weight this year, and just having it all work out for her, and her getting the ending she wanted was awesome. Like we talked about last year, I think, after taking the first 2 years of high school off from wrestling and then coming back to it, it was awesome.
Well, hey, congrats on a great year last year, Emeric. I think I know Steve and I have already looked at our stuff for picks and whatnot this year. I'm excited to see how those shake out, by the way, Steve, because it could go a lot of different ways. And it seems like it's going to be another fun one for sure. We'll be talking a lot more Belmont Platteville wrestling as this podcast goes on. Going a little bit with the off-the-mat stuff, Emeric. I think one thing we want to talk about while we have you on, it's a hard subject to talk about. I know you guys experienced some loss in the off season, and I know everyone in this sectional, for as rabid of a fan base as the people in this sectional can be, I think they love cheering on and supporting each other just as much. So we want to have you on, help promote what you're about to talk about, and just kind of, I want you to tell the story of how we got to this event that you're going to be promoting.
Well, for the event itself, well, you know what? We'll start with Coach Schaefer.
Yep.
Coach Schaefer, he sadly passed away on July 4th this year. He's been with us with the youth program, the middle school program, the high school program since he started wrestling. Anyway, he passed away on July 4th unexpectedly, and he was just a really big part of our program. I took over as the head coach his junior year. I was the assistant coach before that, but I took over his junior year, and I don't know if people don't realize, people probably don't realize, and it's my fault for that, but he is such a huge part of where we're at now. When I took over, he was the upperclassman I needed to kind of help, bring everybody along and buy into what we were trying to do under a new coaching staff. And he did that. And then right after high school, he started coaching for me. He decided he didn't want to wrestle in college. He was going to go right to work. And that next year was COVID year, and we had Michael Douglas in the room at heavyweight, and he needed a partner. So I asked Will to come back and coach for us right away, and he did. And he never left that room. He's, like I said, he's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, because of where he started as a wrestler and then transitioning to the coach of influence of where we're at today. But he was a varsity assistant, but he was also the one that took our JV kids everywhere. And I think that was what made him most happy, was watching our beginner kids, get those little successes and seeing them improve. He just, the smile on his face he would get after the JV tournaments was just awesome. And I don't know. So it's a little tough to talk about. I haven't really talked about it too much since he passed away, but he meant a lot to not just us, but I think probably the area as well. While I'm on that subject, at the weight, there was just a lot of people from the wrestling community in this area that showed up, and I really appreciated it as his coach and co-coach, and I know his parents really appreciated seeing that from the wrestling community as well. So anybody out in this area that's watching, thank you guys for all the support that we got during our rough time this summer.
Emeric, I gotta say, those were some very beautiful words about Will, and I appreciate you. It's not easy to come on a show, like a live show, and talk about that. So, like you said, not easy to talk about, but I think you summed up Will and his impact perfectly. And I do want to say, you said you feel like you were somewhat at fault for not emphasizing his impact enough. I think from our interactions with you, Steve can attest with me on this. You do not like the spotlight on you at all. Like when you talk wrestling, it's about your coaches and the community and your kids. And even if he's not specifically mentioned, you know he's a part of that group. And I think even you saying it now, it's easy in hindsight to feel at fault or bad about some stuff, but you do not at all, man. Like
Right.
I'm sure the impact you made on Will, like he came back to coach for a reason because he believed in the program that you were building. So I want to thank you for all the words on that. But getting into the event, I know you guys have a fish boil that you do. I don't know if you do it every year, but I know this year some of the, I guess if you want to explain the logistics of the fish boil, just how this goes towards Will's cause and then the Belmont Platteville program in general.
Sure. Well, so this fish boil is in remembrance of Will, and as well as we had another community member pass away actually the Saturday of the state tournament, the Saturday of the finals. And he was also a really big part of our community, and not just wrestling, just the Belmont community in general and the sports. He owned a bar and grill here in Belmont, and that was the spot for everybody to go to after events. And he hung our state champs singlets on the wall in the bar, and it kind of gave it really gave the kids something to look to for a goal. They wanted their singlets in that next to Isaac's and Dusty Jentz's singlets. So it's going to be in Coach Schaefer's name and as well as Rat Amanda's name. So we're doing it. This is the first year. It's all something that we just came up with. We wanted to do something in their memory, and this was a good way to do it. The goal is to try raising enough money for a mat, and then we're going to be selling shirts, and things like that that will all go towards Coach Schaefer's memorial fund.
Sorry, Steve, I'm going to cover your face for a minute.
Yep, I was just going to tell. I didn't want to interrupt Emeric, but I was just going to say, hey, Teague, go ahead and cover me up. I'm totally good with it.
All right. Yeah, sorry, Emeric. Continue.
So yeah, we're just trying to raise money for a new mat. I think right now our goal is to put a little something on each corner about Coach Schaefer and Rat of the mat. Like I said, we're selling shirts that are going to be all going back towards Coach Schaefer's memorial fund. It's November 1st from 5 to 9 at the barn in Platteville. If people that are big on tractor pulls or something, anything like that, I think they have tractor pulls out there. So not that night, but just that's the kind of venue it is. And like you can see on the screen, it's $15 for adult tickets and $10 for kids. We're going to have a silent auction, and we got a couple pretty cool ones. Auction items coming in right now. Working on more. If anybody is wanting to donate auction items or cash donation, obviously as well. But yeah, it's just kind of have fun. We're doing it right before the season. Kind of get our whole community back together. Kind of tell stories and remember them before the season starts.
That's awesome.
Good stuff. Should be a fun time. I still could take off of work for this. So, Steve-O, if you're not doing anything November 1st,
I'm liking me a good fish boil, Teague. That sounds like fun.
We'd love to have you guys.
you do love the drive to Western Wisconsin, so
it's with Highway 151, it is not bad. But Teague, and I'm just Emeric, I'm glad you're able to come on and promote this because I really think that the wrestling community, if people are available and they'll come on out and do whatever they can. So.
Yes, thanks for allowing me to come on and talk about it as well. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Emeric, great question by Colin. He's asking, can we support by buying a shirt online? Is that available?
Oh, I don't have the answer to that, but I will get that answer. If you could have Colin message me or the Belmont Platteville Facebook page, and I'll get him that answer. I don't have the answer off the top of my head.
Colin's listened. He heard that. So go ahead and message Emeric on the Belmont Platteville Facebook page about ways you can donate for shirts or any way you can help out if you're not able to attend in person, obviously.
Yeah, we'll get details on the description in our show, Emeric. And yeah, Emeric, thanks once again, for taking the time to come on and talk. It's a really hard subject, and being a coach myself, I'm thinking about my athletes. Like I got a little choked up during that, and it's the late great Jimmy Valvano said, to live a full day, one of the three things you do is if you cry during a day, that's not a bad thing. It's a powerful emotion to feel, and it's just thank you for sharing Will's story and appreciate you coming on. And I would love to see it if the wrestling community showed out and went there and we could talk wrestling. I mean, a lot of fun stuff there. So, yeah. Anything else,
Absolutely.
Emeric?
Just as coaches, we all kind of like to think of the impact we have and things like that on the kids, but after Will's passing, it really made me realize that we need to cherish the relationships we have a little bit more as well with our athletes. So just try to make sure we do that as coaches. Enjoy it and enjoy the relationships and not just worry about the wins and losses.
Emeric, you just made me tear up. So get the.
You're
absolutely right.
Put it any better myself, Emeric. And,
yeah,
hey,
absolutely.
Emeric, thank you. Looks like Troy said that a link will be shared soon. So that's looks like they'll begin the word out there, and we'll do what we can to help get the word out there as well. So thank you for coming on. I hope you're staying tuned in after we let you off here to see what we have to say about this year.
I will be. I will be.
He's going to be taking notes. Yep.
Sounds good.
All right. Hey,
Emeric, we appreciate you,
man. Yep, we appreciate
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me.
We'll see ya. All right, Steve-O.
That was good. It's funny. I'm glad he said that because it's a great reminder, right? I mean, that's my daughter's cross country coach every year at the banquet. He says, nobody's ever going to remember the times you ran or how many times you went to state or the medals you've earned. He said, but they're always going to remember how you made them feel. And Emeric, thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, that was a heavy start, but a good start to the show.
You bet.
I would say. Steve, before we get our next guest on here, I do just want to say, want to thank. Oh man, why is the sign up? First Weber Real Estate. Want to thank First Weber Real Estate. They are our sponsor for this episode. Again, if you know your sectional's coming up, I'm going to post a schedule of the remaining episodes soon, and you want to sponsor that show or the bracket for that evening or whatnot, feel free to reach out to us. But First Weber Real Estate is our D2 Sectional E sponsor tonight. Specifically, Bo Lane, licensed real estate broker with over 20 years experience serving South Central Wisconsin, specializing in residential, commercial, and recreational properties. Steve can speak on Bo's behalf. Bo, pretty good guy.
He is one awesome dude, man. So if you need any recommendations, reach out to us. We'll hook you up with Bo.
And Steve, I see you are wearing a little Blue Devil shirt tonight. Or is Lodi the Blue Devils or just the Devils?
They are. We have multiple Blue Devils. We have Evansville Blue Devils and Lodi. Oh wait, I just screwed up your transition. Did I not?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Speaking of Devils, we got a couple Demons joining us on the show here.
That's good. Good transition.
Some would say demons that I've been fighting since my very first season doing the podcast. We got the Evansville boys. They do the Evansville Wrestling YouTube. They put a lot of time into the sport, and I think they probably know more about this area of wrestling than we do, Steve. I'd say that confidently. And we love wrestling. These guys love it just as much. But so glad to have on Mr. John Frey and Mason Braunschweig. Mason, John, pumped to have you guys on.
Very excited to be here tonight with the Wisconsin Wrestler Podcast. We're excited to be the inaugural winners of the Wisconsin Wrestler Podcast Be a Podcaster for a Day contest. Thanks, guys. I don't know how many slips you had in the bucket, but we're lucky that you pulled ours. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Nice.
You guys,
we're excited to be here, talk to you guys about wrestling. Obviously, yeah, we love it. We're kind of freakish about it a little bit to a degree. Our wives would say that for sure, but
you have to be. I always have to say you got to be a little crazy to be a big wrestling person. I've always been big on that. Fellas, I'm excited to get into it. We'll talk more about the origin story a little later, Mason.
Okay.
But yeah.
I like that story.
That's a good Evansville break.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, Yeah, fellas, I guess first thoughts on the sectional as a whole. 4 new D1 teams. Otherwise, it's 12 teams from the sectional last year. How you feeling about the new lay of the land for the sectional?
Yeah, so it obviously there's a lot of differences here for people to consume. Biggest and I guess the sort of that biggest thing, which is going to be the newest thing for everyone, obviously is going to be that second weekend sectional Saturday, team sectional Saturday. It's going to be bananas. We've had nothing like it. I've heard all your podcasts so far, and it's just going to be a lot of fun everywhere in the state. It's going to be a pile of just good wrestling and um, a lot of content for you guys for sure.
Definitely.
And we are all about the content.
We like content.
Well, fellas, we got 16 teams to jump into. We got some predictions or prognostications, as some of us would call them, at the end. We got a lot of show ahead of us. So what do you say we jump into it? D2 Sectional E. The individual tournament will be at Richland Center, and team sectionals will take place at Lodi. Starting off with the Baraboo. They were 7th in the Verona Regional with 96 points. They're returning 8 out of their 10 starters and 60 points. They are losing to Peyton Oberg, who was a state qualifier at 132. Steve, I know we've been in this a long time because I remember when we were talking about Peyton Oberg being a freshman on our radar.
Right.
And now he's graduated. But the Thunderbirds are returning Nolan Owen, who will place 5th at 157 pounds, along with third-place sectional finisher Desmond Severson and sectional qualifier John Rogers.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about it. Yeah, go. Yeah, you guys, it's totally you. We never talked about the format of how it's going to go. It's all you tonight, guys. I'm just kind of I'm the eye candy of the show today.
That makes sense because we're not. But anyway, yeah. So obviously, Baraboo, one of the 4 D1 teams that are coming into our section, down to D2. And it's funny because I say down to D2, but the reality of the situation is I don't know that any of these 4 teams that we talk about are going to be real excited about being in this section as opposed to where they were last year because it's tough. Baraboo, we don't have a lot of experience with them as Evansville wrestling, but going back to my wrestling days in the late 80s, early 90s, obviously I remember Baraboo Thunderbirds, the Spencer boys, Zippy. I mean, those guys were bananas. They have a great history. They have a great program. Again, you talked about Nolan Owen. They got Desmond Severson coming in. So they got a couple good guys that are ranked. And it sounds like from the youth tournaments that they had a pretty good showing there. So welcome to the toughest section in all of WIAA wrestling.
And you can say that. You're absolutely right. And I'm going to mention Severson for the 3rd time, only because, he was one spot away from going to state. But Teague and guys, listen to who he lost to. He lost his sudden victory to Parrish of Reedsburg in the semifinals, and then the wrestleback lost to Spear 6-3. So I mean, those are 2 studs that are right in front of him.
All Badger Conference foes.
That's right.
Next up is Belleville, Monticello, New Glarus, a.k.a. Steve.
Sugar River.
They were 7th in the Dodgeville Regional with 115.5 points. They're returning 7 of their 11 starters and 39.5 points. They are losing Steve's boy that he picked to win last year, Blake Endres, one state at 126 pounds in a loaded bracket, and also a state qualifier, Trey Udelhoven, made it at 190. But they'll be led by Kason Helwig, who placed 4th at sectionals.
So the one thing about Sugar River that I'll say, and this is going to be a little bit of a theme amongst a lot of these teams, they graduate 4, and they graduate 4 really, really good guys. Blake Enders, you talked about, Brennan Keys, Riker Swenson, Trey Udelhoven. Those are tough guys. And so they're going to be coming back a little bit young. They got Ashlyn Milbauer and Kason Helwig coming back, and then a new freshman, Maddox Mao, coming into the room. And we know him a little bit because our kids have wrestled with him over the years at RT. But they're going to come in tough. They do a good job over there, and they reload. So another good team, another quality team. Will they have enough to make it to the in the top 6? I don't know.
Moving on.
John, do you want to add anything to that? He's not the best color guy in the business for nothing.
I usually keep an eye. I usually in the background. Let's see here. We got some chats. We usually the chat guy, right? Like,
Mason, I knew you were going to use the old Bob Uecker, best color man in the league, for nothing. I knew it was coming. Come on, Monty.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, so wait, John, are you cruising the chat as well in Facebook
I
right
can't
now?
cruise the chat. Usually, I'm cruising the chat for in our YouTube broadcast. So we've got Taylor Smith. He's out there watching. Jeremy Albright. So Jeremy's, I'm familiar with Jeremy. Him and I were practice partners in high school
Nice.
in Marshall, and so so I follow the Albright girls closely because of my ties.
Albrecht, yeah.
Girls to the. I follow them closely out of Milton, and Jeremy at one point had a couple of sons that wrestled in our program over in Evansville for a short time.
Yeah, absolutely.
John, I think I just learned that you went to Marshall just now. This changes everything.
Oh shoot!
Oh man,
we'll
Steve is
We'll talk later. We'll talk later.
Ooh, offline conversation.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go.
That's Wisconsin Wrestler Podcast at night.
Yeah, I see Jeremy did say 2 great guys right there. So Jeremy, if you want to compliment John and Mason as well, you can shoot some love their way too.
All right.
All right, we got Belmont Platteville, who was second in the Dodgeville Regional with 193 points. They're returning 9 of their 13 starters and 121 points. They are bringing back Dylan Weigel, who was the runner-up at 138 pounds last year, and Oliver Harkis, who qualified at 144, along with 4th-place sectional finishers Briggs Weigel and Tyler Kaisemore, and 2 more sectional qualifiers. Guys, I will say, so Belmont Platteville, they had a great bi-state. Bi-state, you can have a few studs, and, it might not change how you view them in the postseason picture. Much to Evansville's chagrin, I would say Belmont Platteville really caught my eye when I was watching the Evansville YouTube wrestling page. I was Steve, I think we were coming back from Lodi and Rapids.
We were, yep.
And I played the video on YouTube on my drive. I wasn't watching. I was listening to the excellent commentary. And,
That's right.
You safe.
And that's kind of when they jumped on the map. For you guys for Belmont, did you see them coming better than we did or what?
Well, we saw that they were a good team. We matched up pretty evenly with them in the duel at Evansville. One of our studs, Lincoln Keller, got hurt in that match, and he ended up going out for the rest of the season because of that injury. Which, it's funny because you mentioned earlier how we lost at the region by 4 points, but I suspect if we had Keller in our lineup at regionals, we would have probably got those 4 points. But I'm not taking anything away from what Coach Williams and his other coaches and the kids have done. They have a great program. They got the Weigel brothers and of course Aiden, the cousin, coming back. They're all studs. They got Oliver Harkis, who was a freshman that kind of came out of nowhere in the middle of the year and did a really good job. Kissamore coming back, Cam Moore coming back. They got some kids. Again, they're going to be another tough team, and I do foresee them finding their way in the mix in the top 6 in this section.
Yeah, you guys hit it. 6 ranked wrestlers, a freshman coming in that's ranked. And you talked about Oliver. I love to diving into his sectional. He came in 2 sectionals, 19 and 10. Some pretty solid records in that weight class and had a day, right? Ended up qualifying for state, ranked 7th this year at 157. So, the mystique that is Belmont Platteville, we're going to have to watch out for this year.
So I don't know. The freshman coming in, are you referring to Herons?
It looks like
in the rankings.
There's another Harkis.
Harkis, yep, at 106. That's according to the Grappler.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Right. Yes, Harkis. Did he actually enroll in high school, or is he still in 8th grade? That would be a question I would ask. I don't know.
Yep, not sure.
I think some of the kids are talking about that. I get a lot of my information from the kids. So
Sure. I'm just going off the grappler ranking, so I have no inside info other than that.
Right. I mean, the last thing I would add about, Belmont Platteville is Dylan Weigel, Briggs Weigel. I mean, those are two guys right there that have a chance to get to the top of that podium. So those are two guys to really look out for in that regard.
Next up here is a Broadhead Judah, who was a 12th in the Dodgeville Regional with 31 points. They're returning 2 of their 4 starters and 19 points, and they'll be led by returning sectional place winner Thomas Lomar.
Yeah, so Broadhead, if you just look at the snapshot of what they brought to regionals last year, it doesn't look very great. But I talked with Coach Hosley recently, and he had indicated that they had a flu bug going through that week, and they had a couple injuries, so that took out a lot of their kids. And he was playing it safe. He didn't want his whole team to get the flu, so it was a smart move. He's confident they're going to come back with a full squad. Another kid you want to look out for, that's an up-and-comer, is Todd Hall. He's pretty good. TJ Hall, decent kid. He'll be a sophomore, up-and-comer. So they've got some stuff, and we say this all the time during our broadcasts. I mean, they have a tough room. They don't do a lot of supplemental stuff, but boy, they come into the gym and they're ready to rumble.
That's awesome. Hey, that's great. I'm glad you said they're going to come back with a full squad. You love to hear that. Full teams. Thomas Lomar, 106. Teague took 4th at section. It was an extremely tough weight class. 3 guys ahead of him at state took 1st, 5th, and 6th. Guys, let me know if you've heard of any of these names: Frey, Bassett, and Dorshorst.
Be talking about him later.
All right, we got Cuba City, Benton, Southwestern at the old Donar factory. 5th in the Dodgeville Regional with 138.5 points. I lost my spot. There we are. They returned 6 of their 10 starters and 86 points. They are losing a state qualifier. Bryce Buxton qualified at 132, but they're bringing back their 126-pound qualifier, Evan Curtis, along with Landon Bush, who made it at 165. They're also bringing along sectional qualifiers Colin Van Schindel and Brody Blackburn. I'll tell you what, guys, Cuba City, Benton, Southwestern, they get closer to having a full armada of a lineup. They've had a good handful of weapons the last few years.
Yeah, so they're coming in with some preseason ranked kids. They lost 4 to graduation. It seems like a lot of these teams and some of our traditionally tougher teams, graduation kind of bit a lot of these teams a little bit, and we'll see what they reload with. I see that they have a freshman, Bronco Navarte, in the rankings at 113 right now. Not sure where his weights are. Again, we're not really sure where any of these kids' weights are. The first opponent that every single one of these wrestlers have, Steve, is what? The scale, right? So
that and that cheeseburger that's always looming that they want to eat.
Yeah, bag of candy that they don't need. Yeah, don't get me started.
Ooh, man. Bag of donuts. Frank Winters.
But yeah, another tough team. So join the party, right?
Yep. Well, speaking of
John Fry's got something.
I want to say something here.
Oh, sorry, John. Yeah.
Did you say Cuba City had like 6 or 7? I don't know.
Man.
Was that 6 or 7 wrestlers coming back? I'm not sure if that was it.
John, let me tell you something. As a middle school teacher, you couldn't have said anything worse to me right now.
Thank you.
I'm a math teacher.
Do that or what?
I'm a math teacher, and every time I say the number 6, I'm ready to start throwing kids out the window.
Okay, will you eject us out of the podcast, or are we still?
No, you're good. I don't know how to do that.
I want to see some video of you throwing kids out of the window. That sounds delightful.
That's just an expression that I have.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've never thrown a kid out the window. It's just I have one student in the classroom that I say, hey, if y'all misbehave, he gets thrown out the window, and they all laugh. It's just kind of So if anybody ever walked by my door and heard that at the wrong time, I might get in a little bit of trouble, but I've never officially thrown a kid out the window.
Strongly worded email, huh? Yeah.
Hey, but you guys, quick, John, am I taking your thunder away from?
No, well, go ahead. Go ahead.
Taylor Smith says, Mason and John are the best duel to broadcast Devils matches. Mason brings the comedy to it while keeping you informed on all the matches they've had. Some pretty long days. You guys have had some pretty long days. I'm impressed by that. But overall, great job, guys.
Yeah.
Taylor will pay after this podcast.
Nice.
And Scott Robert, he's been chiming in here. He's a fan of the channel as well. So thanks, Scott.
Get a little dog cameo there. Hey fellas, are you ready for this? I've been playing around with this in the background, and I think I got it.
Oh, there you go.
All right, that
There it
works.
Wow.
Can we make this even more less attractive? All right.
Face for radio.
We
That's
got
it.
it. It looks a little more screen friendly now. Not the
I like it.
prettiest, but we'll take it. All right, what we got next here? Dodgeville, the Dodgers. Yeah. They were 8th in their regional last year with 105.5 points. They're returning 8 of 11 starters and 89.5 points. Everyone that was at the Kohl Center last year for Dodgeville, well, great news, guys. They are coming back. They have Shane Rashan, who is second at 113 pounds. Rhett Spurley, who placed 5th at 126 pounds. Nathan Johnson, one of my favorites, placed 5th at 138 pounds. And we all know this last man. Haken Peterson won his 3rd state title last year, still undefeated in his high school career. He won it at 144 last year.
Yeah, so they have some studs coming back. Everybody knows it. That's kind of the thing when you're talking about Dodgeville and kind of really talking about them the last 4 years. You know, they've just had a number of studs that come from, you know, what I would call wrestling royalty families. Mm-hmm. And but yeah, you got Shane Rashan, Haken Peterson, Rhett Spurley, all guys that have a chance to be at the top of the podium. The question is, what else do they have? What else are they going to bring? And are they going to be able to sneak into that top 6 to make it to Lodi for team sectionals on Saturday? I got to be honest with you. I still don't know. I kind of had them floating 6 or 7. It kind of depends on the day I look at it. So,
did you do that on purpose?
Oh man!
Oh, nice.
Did it again.
I tell you what, that was really good because it didn't seem like you did that on purpose until I saw the little grin pop on your face.
Diabolical!
Then, yeah, you did. You did. So, that was good.
I don't even get the joke. That's the funny thing.
I don't think anyone does. Let's be honest.
They said it was like some snap face thing on Insta tweet. I'm not quite sure.
Hey, the nice thing is, every kid that listens to this, they're never going to do it again because they're like, great, it got to the adults now. It's not cool anymore. So
yeah. That's what the lady I teach with, she does it every time. She says it so that the kids start thinking it's not cool anymore, and then they shut up about it.
Oh, Lordy. Well, guys, next school up here is Evansville. I'm not the subject matter expert here, but I got some notes on them. They were 3rd in the Dodgeville Regional with 190 points, returning 11 of their 13 starters in 160 points. They do lose Danny Heiser, who won his 4th state title last year at 157 pounds. Did great on our show as well, by the way. They're returning a couple more state champs. Turns out teams can win. They can have 3 state champions. I did not pick that, Steve, but that's what happened last year with Evansville. They have Mr. Colin Frey coming back, who won it at 106 pounds, and Colton Bollig, who took the title at 113 pounds, along with 4th place sectional finishers Race Howlett and Tom Heiser, and sectional qualifiers Benny Braunschweig and Tanner Zastapil.
Yeah, no, we're good. We've said enough. I'm just kidding. I mean, I think there's a lot to be said about these guys. There's a lot of excitement. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, addition by subtraction is not something that I would ever qualify to anything in my life on a daily basis on the regular, but we are literally losing a 4-time state champion who could certainly make an argument one of the best 4-time state champs in the history of Wisconsin wrestling, and Danny Heiser. He leads all-time wins list with Hunter Weber out of
Marshall.
There you go. And so but here's the thing: we're going to bring in a few freshmen, and we got a whole nother year of work under the belt for about 10 of our guys doing wrestling year round. So we're obviously pretty excited, and coupled with that sort of addition by subtraction idea, we have some tremendous senior leadership. We got 5 guys that are coming in. You mentioned them. We got Race Howlett. We got Adrian Wessels, Caden Butts, Tanner Zastapil, Lincoln Keller. I mean, we got some seniors coming back that have some real leadership abilities. They've shown that already. I mean, last year we didn't really have a very strong senior class, but we had, maybe one of the strongest seniors. But, that required some leadership to get spread around. So we're pretty excited about the older guys. And then, of course, we always kind of bring in sort of a youth brigade, right? So our freshmen and sophomores this year, they're going to be a little more seasoned, I think, than many of your freshmen and sophomores. And then, of course, there's Colin, his kid, who's he doesn't say much, but he goes out and wrestles all day long. So we're pretty excited. We like where we're at. I truly believe that we got another potential 3 or 4 kids that could sneak their way onto the top of the podium. 2 of them not really sneaking; they're going to bulldoze through and get there. But I like us making the top 6 without much of a problem. Health being a factor that none of us can control. But I like us getting in there and having some fun in Lodi, and I'm looking forward to that.
I gotta ask you guys real quick, because you've got some good analysis. Do you have brackets for tonight? Or are you staying out of the end of the show bracket predictions?
Well, we might have some things to say.
Might get in on the action.
We're not coaches, so you're not going to get coach speak out of us. We're hey, I wear my heart on my sleeve. We're going to tell you what we think.
Letting it fly. Love it.
Hey, T, did you have anything more about this year that you had particular as far as questions?
I wasn't going to say about this year. I don't know as much about Evansville wrestling history, so I don't want to say anything that I'm wrong about. I just remember when I was in high school, Evansville usually had a couple of solid kids, but as a team, they're not near where they're at now, at least during like the late aughts, early 2010s. What's up, Steve?
What I'll build on that is Teague sent me a picture, I think on social media. Evansville put up the state qualifiers, and he showed it, and I was surprised. I really was, because there was like I don't know how long you guys go back with Evansville wrestling, but there was a gap like 20 years without a state qualifier. I was floored, because I know when I was a head coach, we dueled Evansville in like 02 or 03. They had some really good wrestlers, but maybe that's just a testament to the barn burner of the Southwest that is D2 sectional.
Yeah, and back then we had a lot of tough wrestlers. Like, for example, we had a JJ Boley who made it as a freshman, and then I think again as a senior. But sophomore and junior years, he had to wrestle Hunter Weber every time, right? So, and we were with Marshall and kind of more central in the state, and the way the sections have kind of meted out over the years have been a little bit different too. So there's been some changes, but I would say, I mean, traditionally it's been kind of a sort of a steady growth. And then the last sort of 5 or 6 years have really sort of kind of launched up a little bit for Evansville wrestling. And it's a testament to what the kids and the families are doing with their kids. And, we've got great coaches doing the right thing for kids. So
I was going to say, I mean, slow and steady, like you said, so was there any one thing that you guys felt that really helped? The program's always been decent at the very least, from what it sounds like. But what do you think? What got you guys to the next level, to where you're in that team state conversation every year?
Yeah, and I think it was in 2014 when that team qualified for team state back then, and we had Jordan Meyer and Chase Katzmeyer, Luke Reinhardt. I mean, we had some tough kids back then, and that, I think that's kind of what sort of like set the standard, and then the standard has been incrementally raised every year.
Well, you said the last 5 years, right? That's been the big raise, and I think, isn't that when the Evansville YouTube broadcasting channel started? So maybe there's maybe there's a correlation with that one. Who knows?
I doubt it.
It kind of, you guys made it 2014, last 5 or 6 years. if you think about it, there's probably a lot of those Evansville middle schoolers, elementary school kids that saw an Evansville team make it to team state and thought, oh, that's possible for us if you put the work.
Absolutely. And one of the things we love about broadcasting is we do have our youth wrestlers watching, and they love commenting and coming up and talk to us after stuff. And it's just great. And, we keep good youth club numbers, and that's important. We got a great youth club here, and you got to have that. I mean, everybody knows it. You got to have a youth club.
Nice.
Yeah, that seems to be the recurring theme for sure. Steve, you got anything else for the Evansville boys?
Yeah, hey Teague, I had to find an Evansville trivia question for you. Now,
you're gonna make me
this is only as good as Google allows. So, guys, I know if I'm wrong on this. Teague always says you gotta through what's this AI stuff? You gotta check but verify.
Trust
so I'm
but
just gonna
verify.
go with trust but verify. I'm gonna go with it, and if I'm wrong, you guys can tell me. But Teague, you should know this one. So. Teague, Evansville has 10 individual state titles, 9 under Evansville and 1 under Evansville Albany. Who is the one state champ under the co-op? And I think you should know this because
I think my friend John Mackey in his bracket.
Let me look.
No,
but there
was Jared Delata in his bracket.
Delata was in his bracket.
It was
Mason,
Nolan Kissel.
Yes. All right. I think is that how you say his last name?
Kismol, yeah.
Kismol.
Nice.
Yep.
Teague. Impressive. Way to go.
I'm not going to lie. I think I saw that bracket a couple weeks ago while I was just sometimes I'll go on track and I'll just kind of like click on a year and then I'll just see where that kind of takes me.
Yeah.
Random research. Let's go.
Quit nerding out on me, Teague. Mason, you kept putting your hand out. You kept putting your hand up. I'm like, you're that annoying kid in the class. Like, no.
I know. I know this. I know this.
Put your hand out, you teacher's pet.
I guess on the streaming note, Steve brought up the streaming. When did you guys get into it, or like what was because you guys were kind of even before COVID, I would say you guys got into it, right?
Yeah.
No, it was so I got
was it COVID inspired?
Yeah. So from Coach Castrone, Rob Castrone at the time, called me and said, "Hey, we're going to be able to put on a season, but it was a fragmented season, and they had all of these conditions in place, and they weren't going to allow anyone into the gym. Is really how it started, and that's how they were going to mitigate exposure or whatever. But so they asked Coach Strone asked me. He said, "Hey, would you and Mike Olson actually would you guys come up and we literally had a laptop." On a cart, an AV cart that we moved from mat to mat, and we talked into the laptop microphone, and we used a terrible camera on it, and it was the first two I guess broadcasts were horrible. They were awful. I mean, and that's how you start, right? It's terrible.
Right.
And then been there, brother. Yeah.
John Frey calls me and says, "Hey, I think I can help." and here we are. We made it a lot better, and I believe at one point, we had an athletic director that was like, "Oh, you guys are great. Can you do this for every sport?" And I was like, "God, no, I can't do this for every sport." So then, but since then, we've had a new athletic director, and he's been nice enough not to kick us out. So we're pretty happy with our station in life.
Yeah, I mean, you guys you're absolutely rocking it. It's been fun stuff. I mean, I didn't have to drive 3.5 hours to Freedom to watch a tournament. I just got to sit. It was a day, I was taking a day off from wrestling on a Saturday, and then I ended up watching the Freedom Irish Invite all day. And
like pretty much the whole day, texting us and commenting in there the entire day. Like taking a day off. What else would you do?
I was the bug in your ear all day. It was, yeah.
It was a fun one. That was a long one though. We got a little bit punch drunk at the end of there, I would say.
I was gonna say, how do you guys do it? Because I've only listened to that one all day broadcast. Do you guys? Because Steve and I have tried doing the all day thing. Like for Bi-State, we have to go on rotation. Like, What gets you through a 7-8 hour tournament? Is it just pure grit, or do you guys take breaks to watch your kids' matches, or how does it go?
Yeah, so we kind of try to do that, and we've got a couple other guys, obviously Mike Olson, John Bollig, and Chad Howlett that help us out, and they're great. And we try to take some breaks, but really it's pretty fresh. Like when my kid's going or John's kid's going, we kind of step off because otherwise we'll say something stupid, and it's happened in the past. So I mean, I'm on my third kid, broadcasting my third kid in the program. So so is John. So we're kind of those guys. We got a little bit used to it, but yeah. So it's not always the easiest thing in the world, but good Lord, they say as parents the hardest thing you can do is watch your kids wrestle. Try broadcasting your kid wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
It's brutal. I want to be like, what are you thinking?
John, I got to ask you, because I do football commentary with the guy who I don't do any of the tech stuff. He does all the tech stuff. And I just kind of noticed this from him, and I've noticed this with you guys over the years. Is it just kind of addicting trying to improve the production value every year? You guys have been excellent for a long time. It just keeps getting better. But it just seems like being the tech person, you're just never satisfied. Is that a correct assessment?
Yeah, it's always continuously improving and learning. I don't come from a AV background, but it's kind of been a new hobby for myself and others here, and I've been using resources around, calling my phone a friends. Kevin Westhouse in River Falls, he runs a YouTube channel up in River Falls. He does a great job. Even call a friend out in Delaware, Jeff Stevenson. We've coined him as Delaware Doppelganger.
The Delaware Doppelganger.
And so, so we call our friends, even locally. Dwayne Severson, he's helped us with the audio side of things. So, every year we've kind of, what's the next thing we could do? What's the next improvement? And so it's slowly kind of, buying some equipment, changing how we do things. Checklist, making sure we have everything lined up, making sure we have all the mats and mats and scoreboards lined up. Certainly the Kayla Spurley's helped us out with getting connected to track wrestling and all those other schools, right? So there's a whole kind of behind the scenes happening with all the host schools. The IT departments that we connect with are great. The athletic directors are great. Like Mason said, our athletic director, Kendall Bushin, he's always opening doors for us at these sites where we go and visit. So we have about 10 or 11 broadcasts lined up this year. Certainly sectionals and team sectionals, we're lining up for that, and we'll be back again at Freedom as well. And we're going to do a preseason show.
Yeah, we'll do that again. Don't know how it went, but, we'll do it. It's fun.
At our channel sponsor,
Night Owl Sports Pub and Eatery.
So they help us out. We set up a little broadcast there around maybe just before the Thanksgiving time. You can go back to our channel. So by the way, our channel is Evansville Wrestling. So go to YouTube, and you can find it. Like and subscribe. Smash that notification bell. All those buzzwords that the YouTubers would say. So
that's right.
We fancy ourselves as kind of trying to up and coming YouTubers, I guess.
I don't really like
that.
But
all right.
All right.
So, yeah. So, anyway, so kind of a short story, just trying to make step improvements and learn how we go to make a better product. We feel like we have an excellent product, and it shows by our viewership.
Short story. That was like watching overtime of a heavyweight match. Oh, my God.
Wow. Nice.
Hey, continuous improvement all the time. That's what Kiwanis coach Jeff Mochick would call a Kaizen approach.
Yeah, Kaizen. Yep. That's correct.
Also, guys, since that pub and eatery does not sponsor us, to keep the lawyers out of this, I just want a free plate of curds next time I'm in Evansville.
Get down there. We'll square you away.
That'll be the sponsorship for this show. Perfect.
There it is. We'll square you away.
You guys are rocking it, and I would say too. Sorry to throw you under the bus here, John, but if anyone is looking to do broadcasting, I think we can all agree there's not enough streams out. Like, there can always be more streams out there. There's no way just a few of us can do every stream. if you're looking to cover your school or whatnot, you can reach out to us, and maybe I'll give you John's number if you give me the right amount.
For a free plate of curds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to drive to Evansville, though, for the curd.
Here's the selling point. John's a helper, and every single gym that we go into to broadcast, like, he's right there helping with, like, last year was track. This year, because there'll be a lot of questions with USA bracketing, he'll be there. He'll know that software before anyone does. So he goes in and he makes it a very smooth and, I would say, comfortable experience for athletic directors at schools we go to, and they end up loving John. So,
Yeah, they're very helpful.
We do have someone wondering if John's getting a media truck yet. I know we talked about that. You guys talked about it on your show once, but it might be cool, John.
I mean, we do.
We do have a production truck.
Oh.
It was in the hailstorm here in Evansville back in April, so we picked up a new media production truck. So those will be parked. That media production truck will be parked in the parking lot where the places we go to. So yeah,
a new minivan.
Love it. Let's go. Well, fellas, we are in the heart of this sectional right now. Quite a group we have coming up here.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to transition from Evansville wrestling. I have a feeling this won't be the last that we're talking about them. We are going to talk about the Golden Eagles of Fenimore next, who were first in the Dodgeville Regional with 242 points. At team sectionals, they beat Lodi 50-20, and then Belmont Platteville 41-26. And at team state, they lost to Coleman 34-30. They are returning 7 of their 13 starters and 114 points. They're losing Siler Zanchavitz, who plays third at 150 pounds. Tristan Stelt, who won his third state title last year, was at 165. Nathan Blaschke, who qualified at 175. And Dalton Wolf, who plays fifth at 285. They're bringing back Carson Bassett, who plays fifth at 106 pounds, along with fourth place sectional finisher Cade Birchman and sectional qualifiers Colton Tollison and Ryder Zanchavitz. Now, fellas, I know Fenimore is new to Division II, but you know enough about wrestling to know you don't write off a Fenimore team that graduated a good amount of their talent.
Good amount. They graduated 6.
Yeah.
That's the most in the section as far as teams that have graduated talent, and all 6 of them were tough. I think they're bringing back one. Ryder Zandanovich is the only kid coming back 150 and over. So when you're bringing in new kids, freshmen tend to be smaller. They don't tend to be the big guys, but we have a few of them in this section that are coming in, which is kind of fun to talk about a little bit. But the reality is, with Fenimore's a wild card right now. I mean, they're going to come in with tough kids: Carson Bassett, Cade Birchman, Ryder. We already talked about them. They're Fenimore, but I mean, do they have a coach right now? I don't even know if they have a coach hired yet.
Well, I saw there was a posting. I did look on WIAA, and it's not. It still says Riley.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a wild card. I mean, that being said, I'm comfortable enough. I would have them in my top 6. I think somehow they'll get in that top 6 there. If you have like 4 or 5 guys that get into the finals, you're looking pretty good. So it depends on how the math shakes out and where their guys come in. They're freshmen and they're new guys, so we'll see.
All right, we are at the halfway point of the show, so I just gonna talk about the grappler real quick because I forgot to do it at the start. So why not the halfway point? But Steve, you already know what I'm gonna be talking about.
You are
the
rankings.
The sectional rankings. Folks love it, especially as it gets closer to the postseason time. So let me pull this page up here real quick. There we go. Of course, D1, D2, D3 girl rankings all are out. Team rankings are not out yet, but we're going to go to the rankings by sectional, peruse through sectional E quick.
You may need to adjust your sharing screen here. We see you.
Oh.
We never stop producing.
I don't have control of your computer, so you're going to have to do something different.
Yeah. Wait a second. I'm on.
That's all right. Might have to skip them this time.
Wow, this is embarrassing. Hang on.
I wish I had something to add on it. I don't.
All right.
That's how.
Oh, there you go.
That's how I always am, Steve. I have nothing to add here.
Just nod my head and smile.
D2 Sectional E. Also, it's great right now because you can see the new incoming freshmen in your sectional. So that's a lot of freshman talent in here. But yeah, just want to show folks how to get to the rankings by sectional. Stay tuned in on that. There is going to be.
Say whether those freshmen are redshirt freshmen or not?
It does not have that classification, but I think there's a handful with the status in there. Yes.
47 ranked wrestlers. Crazy.
And I honestly, I think there's an argument for more in this section, but that's just me.
Could be. There will be a lot of, I think there's one weight class with 6 ranked wrestlers, so a lot of good wrestlers are going to be staying home.
Yeah, unless their team punches their ticket.
That's true.
Man, can't figure out the screen share from this. All right,
can't get
sorry.
It unshared.
Yeah, we're back on. Going on to the Devils of Lodi, who was second in the Richland Center Regional with 228.5 points. They lost to Fenimore 50-20 at team sectionals. They are returning 9 of their 14 starters and 133 points. They are losing Braden Dorshorst, who placed at 5th at 150 pounds at state to end his career. But they have Owen Dorshorst coming back, who placed 6th at 106 pounds. Briar Case, who qualified at 120. Along with sectional qualifiers, Noah Allen, Xander Kellogg, Hayden Struce-Clark, and Alex Breinig. And I'm pretty sure I saw this right. There's another door horse coming in.
Yeah, so, that Dorshorst family, they're making wrestlers over there. They got a pile of them in the hopper, just waiting to come up. But and I don't know if you've ever seen them at an event, but they come in with the whole family. I mean, they got everybody. So they're gonna have wrestlers for years from that family. But yeah, they graduate 5. The one thing about that though is I think out of all the teams that we have in this section that graduate like 4 or 5, 6 guys, the Lodi seems to be the team that's best able to absorb that at this point, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. They tend to be their kids tend to be all about, really above average kids, sort of blue collar type wrestlers over there at Lodi, and they do a good job. They do, we know that they love cradles. They're a cradling team. But yeah, they've got some tough kids, and again, I foresee them making their way into the top 6.
Next school
Teague,
up here.
Hey,
What's
Teague,
up?
do you know who was a big cradler in high school? Speaking of cradlers, who was a big blue-collar wrestler for Lodi? Bo Lane, Teague.
Bo Lane was a cradler.
Bo Lane was a cradler. Yeah, we know him well, don't we?
Wouldn't have taken Bo for a cradler. Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't a cradler. His arms are a little short.
Yeah, Bo Lane, also a great realtor, Steve. Want to thank our sponsor tonight, First Weber Realty.
Absolutely. Well, when I wrestled him in college, he was really good at stalling, but that's a long time ago.
It's like Curtis Fiedler says, why do you have to score all those points to win matches?
That's right.
All right, the next school up is Monroe, one of our favorite team names, the Cheesemakers.
That's right.
They were 9th in the Dodgeville Regional with 103 points. They returned 6 of their 11 starters and 21.5 points. They'll be led by 5th place regional finisher Noah Shue.
Yeah, so Monroe, we know them well. They're in our conference now, have been for the last couple of years. The Witt brothers, the coaches, they're great. Those guys are fantastic. We're big fans of the Witt brothers. They graduated 5, and I'm not sure what they have in the hopper. I know that they have a good youth program, and testament to the Witt brothers. They every Sunday they're at a tournament where their kids are at. They're watching wrestling. They're absorbing wrestling the whole season. I know a lot of wrestling coaches love to step away from wrestling on Sunday because that's their only day they have. And those guys are out there all the time. So They have a huge commitment to their wrestlers and to their community, and I expect them to come back tough. But they lost some good kids: Carson Menahan, Garrett Minder, Owen Vagley, Joe Rufnox. They had some tough kids that they lost, so it'll be interesting to see how they reload here. But yeah, they got a couple good guys coming back. Noah Shue, tough. Connor Ekdahl, tough. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Teague, you talked about 150 pounds. Connor Mason, you just mentioned him. Very tough sectional he was at. He had Sefrud, Heiser, and Zanchevich in his weight class. So that's a asterisk by that fourth place finish. And then also Teague, I know last night we just talked about it. Monroe, I'm recruiting him right now. I hope they get to this. I was talking to him at the football game. He was the guy that would come up on the kick return, and the guys I reffed a football game that was scored 98 points between Monroe and McFarland.
Oh, yeah.
And so I got to talk with this guy. He'd come up and he goes, "You look familiar." And I never told him specifically who I was or what I did, but we always had about 10, 15-second conversations every time he was on the kick return. And I'm like, "Well, do you wrestle?" "No, I don't wrestle, but they tell me I should." So I was every 15 or every McFarland score, I had about 15 seconds to try to recruit him. Right. And he knows who he is. So hopefully Monroe hears this. He was, I believe he was number 54, if I remember right. Get your butt out for wrestling.
There you go.
Also, speaking of Noah Shue, I think his brothers are wrestling at Parkside, right? Christian and Brady, if those names are right.
I think that's correct.
And next one up, this is the ultimate enigma of the sectional, I would say. Mount Horeb of Barneveld. They were fifth in the Verona Regional with 129.5 points. They return 11 of their 12 starters and 118.5 points. They are bringing back the Eli's. Eli Mayer, who was third at 165 pounds. Eli Leonard, who was runner-up at 175. Keep in mind, these were both in Division I. Along with sectional qualifiers, Dawson Bell, Nick Burrison, and Timmy Cruz. And guys, I usually save the freshman stuff for you guys because usually you have the additional stuff. I did have to put in my notes for my own personal self because this is going to be big with predictions later. Can't forget probably one of the biggest transfers of the last couple of years, Hunter Stevens. Hunter didn't wrestle last year. He wrestled all college stuff, so I'm guessing that helped him in his high school wrestling career this year. His brother Maxton Stevens is a freshman, and other freshmen, Easton Camaruda, Leland Havens, and Bryce Madden, all ranked coming into the year. Which, rankings, you take them for a grain of salt, but also I trust Zach's research, and I have a feeling that they could make an impact for Mount Horeb Barneveld by the end of the year.
Yeah, they're definitely a team for Evansville to look out for. They've got some studs that will definitely be gunning for the top of that podium. You talk about the two Eli's, of course, and everyone knows about them. But yeah, Hunter Stevens coming back. He's probably going to be hungrier than ever. And then you got four freshmen coming in over there, which makes it kind of interesting. They also have a bunch of other returning people because they really only graduated one wrestler from their roster, which that in itself that's something why I'm kind of looking at them as another one to kind of maybe in Evansville, Mount Horeb, maybe, who knows. They're clearly going to have some stud individual wrestlers. The question is, ultimately, because we know this, we've seen it at invites where teams come in and they're just ungodly at invite tournaments and then not quite there at dual meet tournaments. So there is two different, strategies when you go into those different kinds of tournaments that they have. And I think that's one of the reasons why the WIAA ultimately went to move to the WI team state and expand it, because it's wonderful and it's different and it brings that team aspect. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yep. Mount Horeb.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed.
Sorry, Steve. I keep cutting you off.
No, I had nothing to add. I was like, I mean, this is scary to say, but Mason, you and I might share a brain. I had the exact same thoughts. Exactly. And if we share a brain, that's scary for you.
I don't know if you're probably more scary for you.
All right, got some more Badger Conference representation here as we got Portage up next, who was 8th in the Richland Center Regional with 84 points. They returned 3 of their 8 starters and 24 points. They are losing Landon Heitmeyer, who placed 4th at state at 175 pounds. And they'll be led by returning sectional qualifier Michael Kowalski.
This is the one I told John to prepare for. Are you ready? Okay.
No. Steve?
Yeah, we're gonna pass the buck to you, Steve.
Well, Portage, one of those teams that's right tweener team, right? They wrestle up D1, they go down to D2. I think obviously with the change now in sectionals, they're going to be a solid D2 team. I don't think they're going to be moving up to D1 anytime soon. But Michael Kowalski, 26 wins on the year at 157 pounds. So Portage is a really good, solid tradition. I know. Teague, Mitch, his son was a state champ a few years ago. He took over the program.
Beckett.
Mitch Beckett. Yep, Mitch took over. I know him quite well. Great guy. So Portage is one of those programs. I know they kind of get beat up in the Badger. They're almost that forgotten team in the Badger, but they always have some strong wrestlers.
Well, we'll see. They graduated 5. They got 3 at least coming back from what they had on the regional roster, but hopefully they got a strong freshman class and they had some JV guys in the wings to fill out a roster.
All right, got Reedsburg area. The Beavers won their regional last year with 228 points. They beat Oregon 63-17, Minoa Grove McFarland 40-23. Team sectionals at Team State, they faced Bayport again for the second time in the last 3 years, and they lost 46-30. They're returning 9 of their 14 starters and 131 points. They lose a Trainer Kern, who was the runner-up at 113, and Cade Parrish, who qualified for state at 120 pounds. But they're bringing back Braden Hale-Toomey, who placed 3rd at 106, Hudson Jablonski qualified at 144, and Ryland Knuth. Can't forget about Ryland's brother, Landon, who didn't win at sectionals, but they are big boys, fellas. They are starting O-line and D-line for Reedsburg. Saw them play football, and they do not look like sophomores out there. Reedsburg also bringing back Sam Timlin, who placed 3rd at sectionals, Taven Johnson, Aiden Hackney, who were 4th, and one more sectional qualifier. I'll tell you guys what, kind of scary for whatever postseason picture they're in, because Reedsburg went from being this model of consistency that would always be pretty good, maybe not in the team race, to now they've qualified for Team State 2 out of the last 3 years. I think it's just the product of doing the right thing over the course of a long time. I think Coach Rob Bouch figuring out this whole wrestling thing.
Yep.
Yeah, so again, Reedsburg's one of those teams, graduate 5 pretty tough kids. You mentioned a couple of them, Trainer Curtin, Cade Parrish. And you know, what are they going to have for freshmen coming to the wings? We know Braden Hale-Toomey, he's going to be good. You know, he's going to get his wins, and he's a kid that'll probably find his way back to the podium. At 113, I think they have now, but you know, who knows where they end up when the season comes. But the question, you know, I would have is, because, you know, sometimes these D1 teams, and this is something I alluded to earlier in the podcast, is they become accustomed to the teams that they typically have to compete with come regionals and sectionals, and now everything's kind of changed. So, you know, we'll talk about this a little bit with Stoughton, but, you know, and Mount Horb's coming in with like a bunch of brand new things with freshmen and, you know, and transfer ins and stuff. So it's going to be an easier transition for them. But I think for the other 3 teams coming from D1 to D2, they may not like it as much because, you know, we're going to have a lot of kids that are going to match up with their tough kids section wide. So it's not there's no cakewalk for anyone.
Mm-hmm. No, you're so right with that. I was just thinking, I wrote down in my notes that Reedsburg just makes this already incredible tough sectional just that much more, because Teague, I think you were kind of hitting with it. Rob has really developed a program that just reloads. I think last year I didn't pick them, and the reason why I didn't pick them is very similar to this. They lost a lot of talent, but yet that next level is just right there to step in. So does that happen again, right? I mean, I will tell you this. I ran my bracket 3 different times, and I came up with 3 different champs. So that just kind of tells you how tough, and really how we have no clue once it comes to that team section. We might be able to pick our top 6 or 7, but then you're gonna.
Oh, come on.
Why did I just ruin something or what?
Yeah, top 6 or 7.
I see. I didn't even do that on purpose.
Yeah, no,
Teague,
I'm kidding.
now you made me. Teague, you can't do this because I have a good thought going, and now I totally lost it. But
hey, well,
this
I'll bail you out here. I'll bail you out, Steve, if you need a little break to collect yourself. But I want to give a big shout out to Nellie Curtin, big super fan of the Beavers there. So she's giving a big shout out in the comments there. So Nellie, make sure you subscribe to the Evansville Wrestling YouTube channel, because we will be covering your team, coming to you live from sectionals.
Here's a good note from Jason. Jason Timlin said Reedsburg is in their 3rd different sectional in 3 years.
Yeah, so they're used to change. That's a good thing for them.
Used to adapting.
Yep.
Hey, we got 3 schools left here. Craig, this is a really good note because I'm sure we're gonna have coaches listen to this. Don't forget to register for the WWA Coaches Clinic in the Dells. Room reservations must be made by October 7th. Jaden Cox is one of the main clinicians this year. If you don't know who that is, he's a pretty decent wrestler. So, some heavy accolades to his name. But, hey, great reminder there by Craig. Yeah.
That is good.
Right. Richland Center is up next. They were 7th in the Richland Center Regional with 114 points. They returned 5 of their 10 starters and 53 points. They are losing Ethan Haiti, who placed 5th at state at 120 pounds. Great career by Mr. Haiti. They're returning sectional qualifiers Caden Stibbe, Ethan Bowden-Dean, and Ethan Bindle.
Yeah, so again, another team graduating 5, right? So, and all pretty good contributors. They're coming back with, a couple ranked kids. You'd mentioned them in Ethan Bowden-Dean and Ethan Bindle. So we'll see. The nice thing for Richland Center is they don't have to travel across, 1/4 of the state for the sectional as they're hosting it. So they'll have that advantage, but we'll see what they bring in, right? I don't know much about their youth program, but the youth programs kind of tend to stay a little bit closer to where you're at as far as their activity, but it'll be interesting to see. Traditionally, the last 10 years, Richland Center's always brought some kids to that tournament that have turned some heads.
Also, this quick side on Bindles, isn't a Bindle also like the stick with the bundle that you have on the back, that people carry around?
Bindle?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, Teague.
Never mind. We're gonna move on to River Valley on that.
You're a walking thesaurus around here, man. Now I gotta Google it.
I'm not all caught up on my hobo knowledge.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's exactly what. Yeah.
Bindle bag. Oh, T, I think you might be right. Bindle bag. Nope, that's not it. That's
yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's not. It's not it. I know what it is. Don't say it.
Okay.
Okay. Steve, you have a Richland Center shirt, by the way. Love to see it.
I do. Yep, there we go.
Meantime,
how many shirts are you wearing?
Yeah, you're just shedding shirt after shirt each section.
How many?
It's like wearing 30 shirts every podcast.
Hold on. Which team do we have next, Teague?
River Valley. Oh, I wish you had the River Valley flannel for tonight. That would have been epic.
Oh, that's up over there.
Yeah,
I came all the way down to an Evansville golf outing. You think I would have got a little Blue Devil wrestling shirt then?
Ooh,
Nothing.
Yeah.
I said hi to you. I don't know if anyone else came up to you. Yeah.
I was hoping to see John. I didn't. He must have been hiding out trying to find his golf balls out in the weeds or something.
You were there later.
What was it? What else?
Weren't you there later after when we were doing the baskets or whatever prizes? I don't know. I feel like you were there.
I attempted to golf that day. I'll tell you that.
My in-laws were having a big auction.
Oh.
Hey John, do you know the difference between in-laws and outlaws? Outlaws are wanted.
Oh.
John Frey loves his in-laws.
Yes,
I do.
For the
I do.
record, we want to state that right now, unequivocally.
That's why it's a funny joke. I love my in-laws too.
My
All right,
wife is in the next room over, by the way, so she's probably here.
Hey, we should save all of our necks right now and go on to River Valley, Teague.
Yeah, the penultimate team in this region. I was going to say, John, tell your wife I say hi, but that would have. we took a picture together at Bi-State for context.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
We're going.
Anyway, Teague,
we're going
River
off
Valley.
the rails. Let's
River
get back
Valley.
on the rails and head towards River Valley, where they were 10th in the Dodgeville Regional with 92 points. They returned 5 of their 9 starters and 52 points. So they are bringing back 4th place sectional finishers Mason Schulte and Blake Brickle. And yeah, I think this is the first time in years that, at least since I started following wrestling, that the Blackhawks haven't had a state qualifier. They had 2 guys that placed 4th. They were right there. Don't be shocked to see one of those 2 make their way to the Kohl Center this year.
Yeah, and they were, if I remember correctly, at regionals, you started to see, I think Noah Racky and Wyatt Knockreiner were battling some obvious injuries and wrestling through them. I believe when we did that broadcast, I had mentioned that those 2 guys just wrestled with extreme guts. It was all hard out there, and they were studs. But yeah, like River Valley's losing 4 to graduation. Again, all pretty good kids, all kids that contributed for River Valley. They got a couple tough kids that are ranked coming back. Interestingly enough, they do have, I believe they'll have a freshman, I think, coming in, and it should be Noah's brother, Gabe Ratke. Oh. So there's another Ratke coming up, and then I'm not sure if Wyatt's brother is in 7th or 8th grade or if he's going to be a freshman, but there's Colt Knockreiner as well. So again, River Valley, who's always sort of had, the Ligels and the Alts, and they got all these wrestling family names and everything. So they make more. They make more wrestlers in River Valley.
And the last school in this sectional, one of the big names that a lot of folks saw right away when they looked at the assignments, we have the Vikings of Stoughton. They were 6th in the Milton Regional with 108.5 points. They're returning 6 of their 10 starters and 83.5 points. They're bringing back Galen Empey, who plays 4th at 215 pounds, along with 3rd place sectional finisher Heron Sivas and sectional qualifiers Aiden Lang and Gunnar Nelson. And they're bringing in a freshman, not a bad wrestler to say the least. So, yeah, but all name team. For sure, Steve, Mr. Cade Splinter.
Yeah, so Stoughton, again, kind of said it before, like you're going down to D2, but you have to go into this section where every team has contenders at a lot of different weight classes. Stoughton is, they graduated 4 last year, coming down to D2, historically one of the best powers in all of Wisconsin wrestling as a team. And it makes me want to ask Mel Dow, is there any way before we get to sectionals next year, you could add Wisconsin Rapids, Mineral Point, Luxembourg, Casco, and some other teams to put into our section with all of these other teams that they've thrown in this section? But I digress. Yeah, Cade Splinter, Gatlin Empey, they're gonna be tough. And the funny thing is when you got a freshman and typically you're like, oh, freshman at 215, I don't know about that. Nope, not this guy. He's going to be fine.
There's not a lot of question marks.
Fine. Yeah, he'll be just fine. They also got another freshman, Braden Brider, coming in. Tough kid, works with Patrick Frey up at AWA. So it's Stoughton. They're gonna have kids. They're gonna come in, and the thing is when Stoughton isn't in contention to win a tournament, they sure wreck a lot of other teams' tournaments. And that's kind of one of the things the Stoughton Vikings do.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, fellas, time to get down to the nitty gritty here. And before we get to that, we gotta address something because this show.
Hold on, Teague. Do you want to do the trivia first? Well, we'll do trivia because then it'll be a soften the blow because I know what you're gonna talk about here, and maybe I don't want if you and Mason start fighting, at least I'll have something to bust in and be like, "Hey guys, let's talk trivia." I'll even go high voice. I'll be like, "Hey guys."
So we do pride ourselves on our predictions, not on the accuracy per se,
Right.
but just on it's a fun part of the show. Yeah,
right.
for sure.
So,
a staple.
can I jump in
What's up,
quick?
John? Yeah.
Can I jump
John.
in? I want to get a word in. I can't get a word edgewise here with Mason here. So I heard all names team, right? I heard the all names team mention. We at the Evansville Wrestling YouTube channel, we have a coveted award that we offer, and that award is the Ric Flair Hair of the Sectional.
Yes.
And so this award, we would give one to the regional, conference, regional, sectional. Now we lost our sectional, but region, yeah. Thank you. And so our section will have a new sectional champion because Adam's Friendship winner, Bodie Wallner, has won it back to back.
Wow.
Dirt bike guy. He's won the Ric Flair Hair of the sectional right from the Evansville Wrestling YouTube channel. So we're gonna have a new a champion.
We'll have a new champ. So I guess what John's trying to say is all you commenters out there from the other programs, if you have nominees, it's never too early to put nominees in for the Ric Flair Hair of the Sectional now. And also, kids, it's never too early to start growing out the hair. Do something wacky with it. Doesn't have to be long, mohawks, anything like dyed, all that stuff. Whatever your folks will let you get away with.
Just a plug for our award there.
Good stuff. It is fun, and Wallner very rightfully won it. I don't think.
Oh yeah, you're sure that kid
couldn't argue it.
He went to a BMX tournament right after sectionals, and then after that, he was like the lead singer for a rock band. So
nice. Was it Kiss?
Something like that. Yeah.
Well,
Mike asks, does it have to be in your sectional? Yes, Mike, it has to be in the section the Evansville sectional.
You guys, you guys could almost do an all-state once it gets to that point.
Oh yeah, there you go. Nice.
Yeah, just throwing that out there.
All right, so Teague, let's talk fighting words now here.
This is a big full circle moment having you guys on the show, because when I started our show, I decided I'm going to preview every team, and I'm going to do predictions, because predictions is what kind of gets the conversation going. Well, little did 25-year-old, a very little confidence me, know what I was getting myself into. I think this was 5 episodes in. I post D2 Sectional C, which is my home sectional. I was so glad to talk about this one. and I get a comment. I don't know if this is an alias or something from this guy. For the people listening in audio form, dumb podcast.
Oh, wow.
Commenting on regions you didn't even see. Anytime you want to wager on your prognostications, just let me know.
So, I stand by those words. No, I'll say this. You definitely got a discussion going. So check, right? You got a discussion going. And it's funny because you kind of you've mentioned this in the past a little bit, and we've talked about it.
Now we have you on here to talk. Yeah, I mean, at the time, was it just like, what the heck is this show, and why are they talking about my section?
No, and the podcast is fine. I just was like, Edgerton, we're going to crush them, I can't even believe this. Do they do any analysis? And so it was one of those moments for me where, again, you don't remember that everything you write out on the internet will come back and bite you in the butt one day, or it might get you on the Wisconsin Wrestler podcast. I don't know.
It was a long play.
Just Mason, just so you know, there's no we at that particular time. It was just T. So.
Yes, no, that's all true. I mean, and and it's funny because when that came up, when it came across, Facebook, and my algorithm is filled with wrestling stuff because I'm a wrestling fanatic, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll listen to this, and that's the first one I listened to, and I'm like, what? I was, But then, the more you think about it, I'm like, I'm just so glad that this conversation is being had. I'm so glad that there's a forum for this. I'm so glad that people are able to talk about this. And really, this is the fun stuff for, parents and fans and and the people that were once on the mat now are off the mat. This is where it's fun talking about it and seeing what's going to happen. But yeah, it started a little bit less than courteous on my part, but you've always been gracious. You've always been gracious, and it's funny because the next year and the subsequent years, you text me like, hey, how's Evansville looking this year? What's going on? So it turned into a pretty good little friendship. So I appreciate your patience with me, Teague.
So there was a second comment after that, because I was like, oh, what's the rationale? The rationale you gave, and like it played out exactly that way, was how much depth does matter at the regional, and like that's it was a fun pick, not a smart pick. So a good learning moment for me, analysis wise, at the time too. And also, yeah, after we did the first comment, like you gave a really well thought out like rationale, and then also, and I can't tell you like my confidence now compared to back then. Like reading that comment and surviving through that one, not like it doesn't matter what people say to me. Like we can get through anything after that. You can say whatever you want about the podcast.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Exactly, and it was And when I bring it up, Mason, like it's definitely like just hilarious now, just to think about like where we're both at in the world, and now you're on the show.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Here we are.
With that being said,
how about trivia? I'm just kidding. John and I are
sitting here. What's going on?
Yeah, John and I are sitting here while these guys are duking it out. We're like, this is really uncomfortable.
Well, Mason is a Wisconsin trivia champion.
Wow. Nice. Yeah. Well, Teague, I don't know if I did tell you this. I was on my way to work early this year, and I was, I wish I could say I pulled the car over while I was texting John, but I'm like, John, I think I just heard Mason on the radio. I didn't realize he was a bigwig. Oh, yeah, I won't tell where I heard your voice, but it was on the radio. We'll just say that.
Not a bigwig, just a guy that gets on the radio every now and then. Not by choice.
Not by choice. Yeah, I'm like, I know that voice. Anyway, hey, Teague, as you do your coin flip, I got a little trivia for you guys. The original question was going to be, and anybody can answer this one, Teague. I know you're going to be getting the brackets up and all that stuff, but Stoughton, obviously 55 individual state titles. Or my original question was going to be Stoughton versus the field, who has more individual state titles in this sectional. But as I started calling it out, it wasn't even close. This sectional crushes it. They got all kinds of them. So, but my part two to that question is, so Stoughton has the most individual titles with 55. Can you guys name the team that has the second most in this sectional?
Oh, in this sectional.
Ooh,
that's a great question. I'm gonna. Well, there's a couple teams that pop out immediately to me, so I didn't put any thought into this, and I don't have any numbers obviously in front of me. But I mean, the two teams that popped out in my head without even really looking at the list were Fenimore and Cuba City Benton Southwestern, and I was just thinking about all the Dinar, titles down there. But I'm probably gonna stick with Fenimore on my guess.
Fenimore. And Teague or John? You got any guesses?
No, sorry, I was doing publishing things.
That's right.
What's the question? I'll just take a quick guess.
Stoughton has 55 individual titles. Who has the second most in this sectional?
Second most. I'll just. I'm gonna throw out River Valley.
That's good. Third place is actually River Valley with 20.
Oh, wait, okay.
And the second one is
the Hornets.
Richland Center. Yep. Okay.
Richland Center has 21. So 21 for Richland Center, 20 for River Valley.
All right.
Good trivia, Steve. John, what was your guess?
I was going to maybe go with Lodi, but.
Yeah, it was not. I can tell you Lodi's, but anyway, T, go ahead. Lodi is 15.
All right. Here we go. Guys, we're trying out a new bracket today.
Nice.
I think, yeah, this looks good. It looks great. Sorry, Melissa made the graphic. The graphic itself looks great. I want to make sure I have it looking great on screen here. So, Steve, I might just need a little patience from you.
Okay. Because you got to do some cutting and pasting and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Before we get into the brackets, I just want to say when I made those picks all those years ago, some might say I was living rent-free in Mason's mind when I made that pick. And, since I was doing that, I think Mason probably could have called a good realtor. You know who that realtor could be, Steve?
Who do you got, Teague?
Mr. Bo Lane out of First Weber Realty. That's who this bracket is brought to you by today. First Weber Real Estate Services. Getting the promo up here. Licensed real estate broker with over 20 years experience serving South Central Wisconsin, specializing in residential, commercial, and recreational properties. All right, Steve, I won the toss, so I'm going to have you pick your seeds and your championship first.
Oh, you would. So, you guys, I'm not going to go long on this. I ended up printing out my top 4 teams. I won't even turn this around. I ended up printing out the rosters of my top 4 teams.
Steve, do we have to explain the bracket to people?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Explain the bracket.
All right, real quick. So the folks can see it on the screen. Folks listening at home, I'll give a good audio of it. But here's how the new postseason works. The road to state now is individual sectionals one Saturday. Top 2 qualifiers go. We're not worried about that tonight. Team sectionals will be the following Saturday. And the team sectional qualifying process, the top 6 placing teams at individual sectionals, point scoring wise, move on to team sectionals. Now, and this is a big thing you need to know so you're not mad come this Saturday, the placement of those teams is not determined by how they place at individual sectionals. What they do is they take all 42 teams from within the division, so think Division II right now, that qualified for team sectionals, put all their wrestlers, all the starters into a matrix and seed the teams 1 through 42. And how the teams within each sectional fall within that 1 through 42 get seeded that way. So you could place second in scoring at your individual sectional and be seeded 4th. You could place 6th in scoring and be seeded 3rd. So that's just a big thing for people to know. When Steve and I are making our picks, I think we're just going by finish.
Correct.
But, yeah, in terms of the scope of the bracket, the 4 goes against the 5. The 3 goes against the 6 seed first round. That round is win or go home. If you lose that one, you are done for the day. If you win, you are guaranteed 2 more matches. Now, if you lose in the semifinals, you do get to wrestle a 3rd place match against the other semifinal loser. You get a chance to wrestle for true second.
Correct.
If the team that beat you in the semis wins first. If you win the finals, you win first, you clinch a spot at team state, that's great. Here's why potentially wrestling back for true second could be crucial, especially in this sectional, fellas.
Right.
If you are a second place team, you get thrown into another little seeding matrix. Again, kind of language above our head, but that's okay. You get thrown into another seeding matrix with the other team state qualifiers and second place teams. The highest seeded second place team gets a bid at team state. So,
very good.
Mason,
nice job.
John, anything that I may have missed on that you have? You guys, I don't know if you've heard the spiel 8 times, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, based upon that, what I can say is the if I know anything about the WIAA and their seeding matrices, they're gonna make an awful lot of people angry at the end of the season. So there's that.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome.
You are not wrong. It could even be theoretically perfect, but it's yeah.
Yeah. I have no commentary on that one. I don't want to get in trouble.
All right. Also,
You got
Mason,
it.
John, do you guys have your own brackets that I need to screen share or what?
We'll just talk on yours. It's fine.
All right,
sounds
perfect.
good.
All right,
So
Steve.
I have to pick my top 6 teams. I'm to be honest with you, excuse me. I'm not going to do a lot of commentary. I'm probably just going to tell you my top 6 and tell you who I have winning because seriously, guys, I said this earlier. I ran my bracket 3 different times and then I had 3 different champions. So I ran off all the what I think are going to be the 4 semifinal teams. And I tried to analyze it in this, and then I just put it all down and I said, nope, I'm picking them. And I actually did this before I knew we were having the the Evansville guys on, and luckily they're minimized right now, so I can't see their faces. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it.
You can see them in the corner a little. Here, I'll make them bigger for you, Steve.
No, I can't.
No.
If I squint, no, you just made them smaller. Good. Now I can't see them at all. I have let's go to the top side, Teague.
Put it in the middle.
Put it in the middle.
Put what in the middle? Put us in the middle. Oh, look at that.
There you go.
All right, we're going to cover up a third place match for now, but we'll change that when we get there.
I have my number 1 seed. You know, this one actually kind of changed right as you were talking. You talked about another ranked freshman coming in. So I did have them as well, I shouldn't say that. They were always my number 1, but as far as brackets and stuff like that, things have changed a little bit. But I have my number 1 seed as Mount Horeb Barneveld, just returning all kinds of talent that we've already talked about. Don't need to hash that off. I have my number 4 seed as the Cinderella Belmont Platteville.
Are they
wrestling.
a Cinderella anymore at this point?
You know what? The slipper has not fallen off, so I am still calling my sleeper pick just because I like it. You know, the underdog. I know Emeric likes that role as well, but I'm going to go my number 4 seed as Belmont Platteville, facing the number 5 seed Lodi, the Blue Devils.
All right.
Good 4-5 matchup. On the bottom side, I have my number 2 seed. I think this might be a surprise to some people, but based on their performance last year, the ability to reload and win a very tough Division I regional last year, I have number 2 as Reedsburg. And then my number 3 seed is the second Blue Devil in my bracket is Evansville. And then Mason has Fenimore in the top 6, Teague. I, however, do not. I have Dodgeville coming on in and taking that 6th spot and making team sectionals.
Wow.
And to be fair, Steve, that Dodgeville Fenimore was kind of my,
6 or 7.
one half dozen to another. So
It was his 6 or
I got
7.
right.
Oh man. Yeah. We're gonna go right into my picks here.
All right.
No, I wasn't saying that to your pick, Steve. We had to get out of the number conversation.
No, I know. We had once again wanted to throw somebody out the window.
Reel everyone in. All right, my number 1 seed. We like to call this one a pandering pick. I have Evansville as my 1 seed.
Whoa!
The 4-5 matchup at the top of the bracket.
Mason has already said you guys are good. You're not playing anymore.
The 4-5 seed I have in my bracket joining Evansville at the top. I have Mount Horeb Barneveld as my 4. Lodi as my 5. Which, oh man, this is just scary to do all around. Reedsburg is my 3 seed, so now I'm at the bottom of the bracket. Reedsburg will be going against the Golden Eagles of Fenimore. And my 2 seed is going to be, like I said, that's why I didn't want to call them a Cinderella anymore. I got Belmont Platteville as my 2 seed.
Interesting. Isn't it funny though? Look, T, this is the first time our brackets are this different.
Do you guys want to comment yet, or do you want to wait until these brackets play out a little bit?
I mean, I'll tell you right now, I don't think there's a lot of overlap in how, the teams that you guys both have picked into the top 6. Obviously, the Dodgeville Fenimore, right? And we've kind of been alluding to that all day. So, no, they're all, it's all legit picks.
Perfect. Love to hear it. Just needed that affirmation before I get
into
it more.
Mason said we did good.
I'll post something different online later, but yeah.
Right.
Dumb
T, so do I do my picks now, or
no? Because I'm going to do my 2 rounds.
Gotcha.
And then yeah.
I forget the order.
Yeah, no worries. I just had to give myself a little talking break because this is a lot of talking once I get rolling. All right. 4 versus 5, Mount Horeb Barneveld versus Lodi. So I did have a lot of questions. Rearranging the top 5. I'd say more so the top 4 for me. It was kind of crazy. If Lodi gets a win in this team sectional, and I'll tell you what, like, it's crazy to say that about a Lodi team. Like, they're always competitive, but this is just loaded. It's a pretty solid year for the Blue Devils. But I got to go with Mount Horeb Barneveld. winning this 4-5 matchup. And my 3-6 Reedsburg, Fenimore. I'm going with the Reedsburg. Just Fenimore, as we alluded to earlier, is losing a lot of talent. And, I mean, these teams both know how to reload, but I think this might be a little too much for the Golden Eagles to overcome. Going to my second round matchup, and this is, I always think of this bracket in terms of like D1 individual brackets. This is one of those brackets where you feel like you have championship matches every match from the semis going forward. I'm going to start at the top with Evansville and Mount Horeb Barneveld. I think it could be a fair statement to say that Mount Horeb Barneveld, that they might have the most talented team coming into the postseason and during the postseason. And even looking at their lineup, it's going to be tough to find, 6 or 7 wins against them. But yeah, sorry. I was the last one that didn't do it, so I had to get in on the action. But no, you obviously try to plan winning 7 matches against a team. That's the first thing you have to do to win a duel. And it's going to be tough against this Mount Horeb Barneveld team. But I am really big on team chemistry. And and if there's one thing with Evansville, they've kind of proven that they're the model of consistency within this sectional. And they've been consistent, and now they've just gotten better, and it's reloading. And I'm going to take Evansville in what's going to be an epic duel. So move Evansville into the finals here. Reedsburg, Belmont, Platteville. Belmont, Platteville, I said they're not the Cinderellas anymore. Reedsburg, Steve, I can't believe we didn't mention this. We have burned a lot of teams in this sectional.
We have.
Yeah, we've been burned by a lot of teams, I guess I should say. But Reedsburg, Belmont, Platteville, it's going to be a really fun duel. They're both bringing back, I believe, it's 9 starters. Of course, Coach Williams talked about wanting to get to that next level. I have Reedsburg winning this semifinal match from the 3 spot. Reedsburg has just always been a better dual team than a tournament team, so they may get the 3 spot, but I feel confident in the Beavers, as confident as you can be in this sectional. The Beavers making it to the finals. So that sets up, I'm not going to do it yet, Steve, but just given the lay of the land for the folks, my first place match is going to be Reedsburg versus Evansville. My third place match is going to be Mount Horeb Barneveld versus Belmont Platteville.
Nice. Woof. That's a lot. All right. So my first round, I'm going to go 4-5. I think this is one, not a lot of discussion needed for it. But Belmont, Platteville, I have them beating it. They're all going to be tight. I don't think there's a bad match at this sectional. That's why I'm glad you guys are going to be there, because I'm sure wherever we're going to be at, we'll have the feed on to keep track. Bottom side, Dodgeville, congratulations. Studs, right? They're going to have a lot of studs in their lineup, just don't have the depth that Evansville has. And so I have Evansville going on to the semifinal. All right, so let's go up top. Mount Horeb, Barneveld. So this is the one where I pulled the sheets out. I was scoring it, trying to do this. I scored it one way. I had one team winning. I scored the other way. And then ultimately I came down with it. If you get 7 pins, which I think this program very well could, obviously it sets you in a position where the worst you can do is tie. And I think that's exactly what Mount Horeb Barneveld is going to do. So I have them advancing on the top side to advancing to the championship.
Wow, you just called 7 pins. That's a statement right there.
That is a statement. That is a statement. So and then on the bottom side, Evansville versus Reedsburg. Teague, I talked about it earlier. We talked about Rob. The reason why I did not pick Reedsburg last year, and I already said this, is that Reedsburg lost a lot. In fact, I think it's the exact same amount. They only had, what do they have this year? Returning 9. They lost 5 starters last year, and I think this is exactly what they did this year. And I saw Rob somewhere. We were out. I think it was before semis, might have been before the finals. And now he didn't give me the Mason Brownie treatment, but he did kind of give me that little smirk of, hey, you didn't pick me, but look what we did. We went to team state. And is that going to happen this year? Does Reedsburg get in this team sectional and just prove me wrong again? Rob, you're going to have to give me another smirk when I see you at state, because I have Evansville because I think Evansville just has too much team power coming back. And, I didn't talk about this because these guys talked a lot about Evansville, but I get to see Evansville's youth program every single year. I do a lot of refereeing. Their middle school program comes in, and the kids are just solid, right? So they're going to have freshmen that step in that lineup every single year, and they're just ready to go. So I have Evansville versus Mount Horeb Barneville for my championship. And then on the bottom side, I have, Teague, you already have it in there. I have so many things crossed out and rewritten in. I have Belmont Platteville versus Reedsburg.
All right. No, I have my bracket in, not yours yet. Sorry.
What do you mean?
Hang on.
Oh, no, you're good. So do I keep going? I got to call the championship right now. Is that what I'm doing?
So Steve's first place match, Mount Horeb Barneveld versus Evansville. I'll give you a breath here. Third place match, Belmont Platteville versus Reedsburg. Let's hear it, Steve.
All right, third place. I have Belmont Platteville versus Reedsburg. Teague. I broke it down a little bit, and I'm going to go with Belmont Platteville. It's going to take third place in this. And then my championship, Mount Horeb Barneville versus Evansville. Teague, I think your analysis, you drew it perfectly before. Mount Horeb is going to come in with a whole bunch of studs. The question is, can you get all those studs to wrestle a team game? We talked about programs like St. Croix Falls, Coleman, Luxembourg. There's programs that just understand how to team wrestle at team sectional. Evansville has that. We know Evansville's been battle tested. They've been in this situation before. I don't remember, and maybe you guys can tell me if I'm wrong or not. I don't remember if Mount Horeb Barneville has ever been to team sectional, right? So now, can you take all these super studs and can you get them to wrestle a team dual meet game? In this particular case, Teague, I think they can. I have Mount Horeb Barneville, and they're going to go ahead and win the championship, and that's going to drop Evansville down to the wrestleback with Belmont Platteville.
And Steve, that will have to be a wrestleback.
That is a wrestleback.
Yep.
And you know what? This is probably one of the most exciting wrestlebacks, because I think if you take a look around the sectionals, you're going to have the Coleman Freedom one, right? That second place team is going to be a candidate to be that what do you call that? At-large qualifier.
Wild card, yeah.
Wild card. Let's not forget these teams up here. You got St. Croix Falls, you got St. Croix Central, and I believe you have Osceola, Teague. Are they all in the same as well?
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, one of those, so this isn't I know this is an extremely tough sectional, but it's not a shoo-in as far as who that large team is going to be. The question down here is, can Belmont Platteville reproduce what they did last year, right? Are they going to keep on just surprising teams, or does the slipper fall off? And in this particular case, Teague, I think it does. Mason talked about it earlier. Yeah, they lost by 4 points for Belmont Platteville to go to sectionals, but they were missing very strong. Who was it, Mason? You guys were missing
Lincoln Keller, and
he is back, and along with who Evansville has coming in, I have Evansville taking second place in this one.
All right. Oh, man, now I got to pick my finals.
You got it, man.
Steve, great picks. We're going to call it on the show here tonight because we're getting close to the 2-hour mark. But thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And I can't even see your guys' reactions. I'm just going to assume we thought that was really funny. Okay.
We have been told to be diplomatic in our reactions.
And
wait, who told you that?
No comment.
Not that.
Oh, you don't have to be diplomatic. You can tell Teague. Okay. You can tell Teague whatever you think of him.
Clearly, I have.
Third place. Mount Horeb Barneveld, Belmont Platteville. Oh gosh, this is just Mount Horeb Barneveld is the team that Steve has them winning it, and
you have them taking fourth.
It just hurts to pick against them because of the talent that, if they bring everything together at the end of the year, then they are going to be scary, and I think they could be scary on the state picture as well. But I'm just going to go with Belmont Platteville to win the third place match. So I'll just set that up there, move them over. And I guess on the basis, I mean, bringing back more starters, more continuity as a team. And here's the thing. I guess the one thing we can't forget about Steve is Coach Sarbacher is a great coach, too. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he's a new coach handling a bunch of talent. I'm going to take the team with more returning overall starters and continuity. So there's going to be one. If there's a pick that really backfires, it's going to be the Mount Horeb Barneveld fourth pick. But it's locked in. I've made it. I'm going to own it. Let's go to Evansville and Reedsburg. Two teams that I think I forgot to say when we were talking about Reedsburg, but kind of the same models of team success, where pretty solid teams. Evansville, I think, with a couple more team state appearances, are getting closer to team state. But they've just been the model of consistency over the years, and eventually that's bled through the whole program. And now they're starting to see it at the next level, and now we've seen it with, I guess, the two cases that we have here in the finals. We have Evansville, who are they going to be a part of the Braden Scholes effect, where you have a four-timer that helped build a really good culture at the high school level, and now the kids below that grade are going to benefit even more from that. And you have Reedsburg, who they've been returning 8 or 9 starters the last few years, and that would cripple some teams, but it is not for Reedsburg. So there's a lot of factors that go into this one. I burned both teams in the past, and I'm going to rock with the Beavers of Reedsburg this time around. And what, for my personal pride, if this is the finals that happens, would be one of the most high-stakes ones. I'm going with the Reedsburg in my second place match. In my first place match. So I have the Beavers going to Division II, questionably tougher sectional. Still have them pulling through, showing that they continue to reload, not rebuild. Evansville, Belmont, Platteville, we have the same second place match, Steve. One that potentially, like we said, will be the team that gets it to state. Man, fun ride for Evansville. Glad I got to be with you guys while I picked them to make the finals. I know you got hit with the injury bug at the end of last year, but you know what? I am rocking with Belmont Platteville, losing in the semis, winning 2 in a row, winning the second place duel to lock up the wild card spot.
Oh, I thought you went a totally different direction.
I have the Blue Demons just on the outside looking in. Just taking that bracket for a second. Let's go back to the screen. All right.
I know you can't see the screen, but think about that. I think we have the same top 4 teams, but I think we have them in totally different. That's the most wonky.
So the crazy thing is, our semis matches ended up like my semis matches were your first and third place matches, and vice versa. I think.
Right.
But
that's just a testament. We have no idea, right? I mean, we can make a good guess, and I think it's going to be a fantastic sectional.
I forgot to add, I think a win in that second place match would be Belmont Platteville taking the next step as a program, because I think numbers-wise it doesn't favor them against Mount Horeb, Barneveld, and Evansville at the moment, but I guess I'm picking BP to take the next step. I'm picking Reedsburg just to continue doing what they're doing. Fellas, all the jesting on the picks aside, I mean, what are your thoughts on the bracket? Because it's madness.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is a tough one to call for sure, because I think when you get into the top 6 at this particular sectional, these are all tough teams. So, I don't think anyone takes any disrespect or anything from that. But I will thank you. I will thank both of you on behalf of Coach Weiler, because that might be the bulletin board material we need.
Nice.
So,
was he the one that told you to stay?
As I recall,
was he the one that told you to stay diplomatic?
Yes. But as I recall in the past, when you both pick against us, we generally do pretty well.
This is true. It's true, because I think last year we both picked you, did we not?
One of you did, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was you, Steve, that did. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. Well, yeah, we both picked against. Also, Mount Horeb Barneveld, me not picking that's just a rite of passage. Like, if you're going to make it the team state, you need me to pick against you at least once.
And frankly, I'm surprised that there wasn't more brand new D2 hazing occurring during this podcast. I think we were all very complimentary. But yeah, so you in your picks, you gave a little bit of hazing to them, but you pushed Reedsburg in there. We'll see. Good program. It's going to be that Saturday is going to be madness. It's going to be awesome.
And also, I say this for every sectional, especially this one, because there is the factor of like not having one wrestler could totally change the picture for a team.
Right.
The one thing that we all root for is everyone is healthy and available for the postseason. Yep. Like that's,
Agreed.
And I think we all agree you want to beat a team at the peak of their strength too. So that's
right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Mason, you talked about it with Broadhead Judah, right? I mean, it's we live in Wisconsin, and we never know when that flu bug or sickness bug is going to go through whatever team, and you just hope and pray it's not come sectional time.
Yeah, and it's fun to be able to have these conversations and pick these teams in a vacuum, if you will. We're not taking the seriousness of life into the equation, but yeah, there's always things that pop up during the season. I mean, just ask any of these coaches that you guys bring on, and they're dealing with adversity on a weekly basis. So,
correct.
God bless those coaches out there for dealing with it.
Right on.
Well, that's it for the show. Steve, am I missing anything as we close out?
You got it, dog.
All right, yeah, we wind down. First preview over 2 hours.
Hey, hold on. Let's let John say something on this show today.
Gee, did you receive a table? Did you get this table graphic?
Oh my gosh, John, I've thought about it like 5 times over the show, and then I just got into. You mean this table graphic, John?
Oh. Yes.
So John sent me this. John, do you want to talk about this? Because we do focus on the team race at the end, but I think this is a pretty cool table. John, do you want to explain what's going on here?
Yeah, sure. So we talk about being a tough sectional, broke it down. This is not official numbers. These are just some research that we did here. And this is the total returning state qualifier. So if you had a team, had a wrestler qualify for state and are in these sectionals, these are the total returning state qualifiers by section.
And
then out of those state qualifiers, you had placers.
Top
and
6
then returning
state
champs.
Okay.
So it's lay of the land for the Sectional E folks tuned in. Sectional E with the second most returning state qualifiers at 20. They have the most returning state place winners with 14. The next closest is A and B with 9. Returning state champions, they have 3 of them. Steve, who are the 3 returning state champions?
Oh, you got Haken, you got Frey, and you got shoot.
Oh man.
Oh, it's an Evansville kid, Bolling.
Yeah. Good man.
Yep.
Good. We might need to just use this on every podcast.
Yeah.
Go ahead, use it.
We're gonna create that as our own.
Also, a lot of senior champs last year. Or there's some that changed division.
Yeah, and that's again kind of going back to where my initial sort of first step in the analysis went on all these teams. Just the graduation, numbers that hit some of these teams. So I think that'll be interesting to see.
The scary thing is we didn't talk about them much. Steve didn't talk about them. What if Fenimore just comes out of the weeds this year?
Mm-hmm.
That's Fenimore, another team that we have wronged in the past, Steve.
You bet. We have.
I've never been so, there literally is no stakes with this. I've never been so nervous trying to do picks today. Not when we got on the show. Then it was fun. But I was like, oh my, what angle do you take? But fellas, I just want to say as we wrap up here, it feels like a full circle. It's been a long time coming moment. We've come a long ways. And I'm glad we could have you guys on to talk some wrestling. You do a lot of great things for the sport. And you clearly like the talent or the knowledge that you guys have on the local teams and the passion you bring to the table. The sport is better for it, for sure. So thank you for coming on and sharing that gift with us.
Well, thank you very much. And, on behalf of John and I, we really appreciate this opportunity. But again, it's at this point, I mean, just on behalf of fans in general, thank you for bringing Wisconsin wrestling some much needed exposure, because I've always felt like it was the sport that got a little bit neglected when it can't, like, you don't see enough on the news, you don't see enough in the papers, you don't see enough wrestling in anything. And these kids give everything they got. They really work hard, and people aren't afraid to say that. Oh, wrestling's the hardest sport. That's the one where they work real hard. People have no problem saying that, but then they don't want to give these kids the accolades that they need. And you guys do a great job doing that. So thank you for that on behalf of all Wisconsin wrestling fans.
Thank you, fellas. We appreciate it. Much love. My brain's a little sleepy right now. A lot of no 8-hour freedom broadcast, but still a lot of wrestling talk tonight.
We've had some 10-hour ones.
10-hour ones.
10-hour ones.
All right, Steve-O, you got anything?
No, I just appreciate you guys, Mason, John. You guys do a great job, and we just loved having you on.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
D2 Sectional D on Wednesday. The D2 folks. It's like your wrestling season just started today, because this was our first D2 one. Really started off with the heater. 4 D2 sectionals in a row. So the next 2 weeks, all Division 2. We got D on Wednesday. Next week is B and G. So stay tuned in. Thank you, everybody from all divisions, for tuning in. And until next time, we will catch you on the flip side.